Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So today we are going to start with chapter 6 Animal Classification Science 2, okay, page number 61. We will discuss the can you recall question. Which criteria are used for classification of organisms? Do you remember last year you had studied about classification of organisms, the Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. So what are the criteria which were used? First of all, whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic, then whether it is unicellular or multicellular. Okay, if it is multicellular, whether it is with cell wall or without cell wall. If it is with cell wall, whether it is autotrophic or heterotrophic. So there were different criteria. First one is prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Second is unicellular or multicellular. Third is with cell wall or without cell wall. Fourth is autotroph or heterotroph. Okay, so you may revise it from your 9th standard textbook. Now on page number 61 there is figure 6.1. That is the Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. You could be given the boxes and ask questions. Okay, the fill in the boxes question. Now I'll just discuss. Living organisms is divided into two, prokaryote and eukaryote. Prokaryote, the kingdom which is under prokaryote is kingdom Monera, that is mainly made up of bacteria. Eukaryote is divided into two, unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms. Under unicellular organisms, kingdom Protista. Under multicellular, there are two boxes. Left hand side is with cell wall, that is which is again divided into autotrophs, heterotrophs. Autotrophs come under kingdom Plantae and heterotrophs come under kingdom Fungi. The without cell wall consists of kingdom Animalia. I repeat, living organisms divided into two, prokaryote, eukaryote. Prokaryote, kingdom Monera. Eukaryote divided into two, unicellular, multicellular. Unicellular, kingdom Protista. Multicellular divided into two, with cell wall, without cell wall. With cell wall divided into two, autotroph, heterotroph. Autotrophs are kingdom Plantae and heterotrophs are kingdom Fungi, and without cell wall is kingdom Animalia. How the plants are classified? This also you had studied last year. The plants are classified based on the presence or absence of their organs. That is, whether the plant body could be differentiated into root, stems or leaves, whether they are having conducting systems like xylem and phloem, whether they form flowers or not form flowers, whether they form seeds or not. If seeds are formed, whether it is open or closed. If seeds are there, okay, if seeds are closed, then whether it is monocot or dicot. So there were several criteria. Next is, we may move on to the last paragraph. You must be looking varieties of animals around you. Some animals are too small, whereas some are too big. Some animals are terrestrial, where some are aquatic. Okay, so what they want to do, there is a huge diversity of approximately 7 millions of animals on the surface of the earth. So the study of all these types of animals become difficult. So we have to classify the animals and study about them. The chapter is about classification of animal kingdom. Okay, now there were several methods. Before that, we will see the definition of classification. Formation of groups and subgroups of animals depending upon similarities and the differences among animals is called as animal classification. Okay, so based on their similarities and differences, they are classified. Okay, so that is the definition which is given on page number 62. Formation of groups and subgroups of animals depending upon the similarities and differences among animals is called as animal classification. Now there were several methods put forward by different types of scientists. We are having a small history about those different types of classifications which were followed. The first one is about artificial method, which was put forward by scientist called as Aristotle. What was the criteria which he put forward for the classification? It is body size, habit and habitats of different types of organisms. Theophrastus, Linné, John Ray, Linnaeus, all these scientists also followed the artificial method of classification. Another method was which was done by Dobzhansky and Mayer, that is natural system of classification. The criteria for these includes body organization, type of cells, chromosomes, biochemical properties, etc. Body organization means whether the body is made up of cells, tissues, organs, whether they can be differentiated into different parts of the bodies like head, thorax, abdomen, okay, such body organization. Type of cells which they are made up of, chromosomes, and biochemical properties. This was another system of classification, that is natural system of classification, which was done by Dobzhansky and Mayer. Another scientist, Carl Woese, also put forward another type of method which has not been named in our textbook. Classification by Robert Whittaker, which we know, okay, we follow nowadays Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. Okay, now the traditional method of classification. Before going into that, on page number 62, you may see towards the right there is a box. Benefits of animal classification. Study of animals become convenient. So why animals should be classified? Study of animals become convenient. Study of few animals from a group helps to understand about that entire small group, animal group. It gives idea about animal evolution. Animals can be easily identified with great accuracy. It helps to understand the relationship of animals with other living organisms. It helps to understand the habitat of each animal and its exact role in nature. It helps to understand various adaptations shown by animals. So these are the benefits of animal classification. Now the questions from this part, basically the question from the exercise, there is a question about the history of classification, different types of classification in the exercise, that is only asked. Okay, now according to the traditional method of classification, kingdom Animalia is divided into two, that is non-chordates and chordates. Non means which do not have something, non-chordates and chordates. The basic classification criteria is presence or absence of notochord. You may see here notochord. Now what do you mean by a notochord? It is given on page number 63. In a box they have given what is a notochord. It is a long rod-like supporting structure present on the dorsal side of the animal body. It keeps the nervous tissue separate, isolated from the remaining body. Now in simple words, I will tell you what is notochord. You know about vertebral column, okay, not spinal cord. Spinal cord is different, vertebral column is different. Spinal cord is a part of nervous system and vertebral column is a part of skeletal system. The skeletal system, that is vertebral column, is made up of about 33 sets of bones, okay, small circular bones, through which there is an opening at the center through which the spinal cord passes till the end. Okay, so there is a set of bones on the back side of our body. On the back side, on the dorsal side, okay, the upper side of a dog, the upper side of a cat, okay, the upper side is said to be a dorsal side, the lower side is said to be a ventral side in case of four-legged animals. In case of us, the front side is ventral side, the back side is the dorsal side. Okay, so on the dorsal side there is a vertebral column for us, which has developed from this notochord. That means when we are an embryo, when we are being formed, okay, when we are in the stage of a zygote or an embryo, we have studied about embryo. When we are an embryo, then at that time the there is a rod-like structure which is present, that is said to be notochord. As we grow, that notochord gets converted into vertebral column. Okay, now whether this notochord is present or not, that is the first criteria. So we will say notochord, it is absent in case of non-chordates. These non-chordates do not have that notochord, they do not have a vertebral column. Whereas in case of chordates, the notochord is present in some or the other stage of their life cycle. Okay, not that it should be present. Okay, it should be, the vertebral column should be present when it is an adult. It could be present when it is an embryo also. Okay, as the organism grows, it might disappear. Not in case of us, in case of some animals. So whether the notochord is present in any stage of life cycle or it is not present, based on that the organisms are classified into non-chordates and chordates. So basically you should understand the first topic is presence of notochord. In case of non-chordate it is absent, in case of chordate it is present. Next is pharyngeal gill slits. You might have seen the gills of fishes. Okay, the fishes open their gills at that time what will happen, the water which they have taken through their mouth, it moves out through the gills. That is the simple example of gills. Not only fishes have gills, there are other organisms which are having pharyngeal gill slits. Okay, now this such type of gill slits are present at any time of their life cycle, whether it is present or not. The pharyngeal gill slits, it is absent in case of non-chordates, it is present in case of chordates. Next is nerve cord. In case of us, we are having spinal cord. Okay, whether it is ventral, that means towards the lower side, it is solid. Solid means it is completely filled, it is not hollow. Okay, it is solid and it is paired. There are two. Okay, that is about nerve cord in case of non-chordates. In case of chordates, it is dorsal, hollow and single. Dorsal means on the back side. We are having spinal cord towards the back side. It passes through the vertebral column, isn't it? So it is on the dorsal side. So dorsal, hollow and single, there is only one. Next is heart. Non-chordates have their heart towards the dorsal side, whereas chordates have their heart towards the ventral side. So if you are having a question on distinguish between non-chordates and chordates, you may write this: notochord absent, present; pharyngeal gill slits absent, present; nerve cord ventral, solid and paired; dorsal, hollow and single; heart dorsal, ventral. This is a very important question. Okay, now you may see the figure on page number 63. There is a figure given, figure 6.2, characteristics of chordates. In that they have shown the nerve cord. Okay, the nerve cord and the notochord. That diagram could be given and asked for labeling. Okay, so the diagram is important. Okay, now we may move on to the next part, that is classification of animals. Before that, you may write this in your notebook. Now we will study about the classification of animal kingdom. Okay, so kingdom Animalia is divided into two: subkingdom non-chordates and subkingdom chordates. Non-chordates do not have notochord, chordates have notochord. Non-chordates are divided into 10 different phylum. Okay, just like in case of plants it was division, in case of animals it is phylum. There are 10 different phylum. The spellings of all the phylums should be correct. Okay, if you go wrong in your spellings, you might lose marks. So protozoa, the first phylum is protozoa, porifera, nidaria, platyhelminthes, aschelminthes, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata and hemichordata. you have to learn the names of these. Okay, so this chapter is basically on learning. You have to learn the by heart the different parts, okay, the different characteristics and the classification. So what are the 10 different phyla of non-chordates? Okay, the 10 different phyla are phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, phylum Annelida, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Mollusca, phylum Echinodermata, phylum Hemichordata. These are the 10 different phylums of subkingdom non-chordates. Now, subkingdom chordates is consisting of only one phylum, that is phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphylum. Subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Cephalochordata and subphylum Vertebrata. Okay, now this subphylum is based on presence of notochord in any of the stages in their life cycle. Okay, so these are the three different subphylum: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. The subphylum Vertebrata consists of 6 different classes: class Cyclostomata, class Pisces, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves and class Mammalia. We belong to which class? We belong to class Mammalia. Okay, we are one of the most developed organisms on the surface of the earth. Which one could be the most underdeveloped? This is the underdeveloped. So the development, we had studied about evolution, isn't it? When we studied about evolution, there were several steps in the evolution. So you had studied about the theory of organic evolution. It was studied that it started from a single cell in the ocean and then it went on developing. First it was unicellular, then it became multicellular. So it starts with protozoa, which is unicellular. Okay, from that it went on developing more and more. The evolution went on increasing. So this one is less developed than this. This one is more developed than this. So the development is increasing wise. That is why you have to learn them order wise. Okay, so learning the names of learning the name of phylum order wise is very essential. Okay, so the first one is Protozoa, Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. This is about phylum non-chordata. In case of subphylum, phylum Chordata, there are 3 different subphylum: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. And Vertebrata is divided into 6 classes: Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So for today, you may draw this chart in your textbooks and study it today itself. You should be remembering all the phylums in order. Okay, thank you.